You see what I'm saying? What we saw in the flesh, it looked bad. We saw they saw him getting beat, getting whooped. But first natural, then spiritual. When you saw it in the flesh, something was happening in the spirit. The Bible says, by his stripes, we heal. By his stripes, we heal. See, the devil, the Bible says, if the prince of this world had known what he was doing, he didn't know what he was doing because he walked in darkness. You wonder why the devil been fighting you so bad? God sent them on you. God sent them on you. The Bible says, I kill them. I make them lies. God sent the devil. He sent them on Job. He didn't send them on you. Not to bring you down and to kill. The Bible says, I know my thoughts of you, thoughts of good, to give you an expected end. Come on. He know what he's doing. See, we looking at it in the flesh. That's why we can't get no victory over when the devil fighting us. Because we seeing it in the flesh. In the flesh, it looks bad. Oh, I'm going through. Oh, the devil fighting me. But you ought to look in that thing in the eyes of faith and say, man, you don't know. Let me tell you something. When you gave that testimony the other day, if the devil would have knew you was going to get that testimony for being on prayer, hallelujah, Jesus, he would have never let you get on prayer. If he would have knew he was going to come with a testimony of Jesus Christ, the Bible said he would have never crucified Jesus. If the prince of this world had known, he wouldn't have crucified him. You see, we got to begin to see this thing out of the eyes of faith. The devil trying to keep us down here in darkness, but it's time to go up into his light. It's time to walk in his light. See, what we do, what you do when you're in dark. You wonder why the church, we devouring each other. You wonder why we biting and devouring each other. Let me show you something. When you in darkness, what you do? You stumble, you broke. You can't see. Do you see what I'm saying? We in dark, we can't see what we doing. We bite and devour each other for what? We can't see what's going on. We being used by the devil because we in his element. Do you see what I'm saying? When you in the flesh, the Bible says, Paul said, in the flesh, you in the motions of sin. You don't know what you're doing. You just in the motions of sin. Come on, you in this flesh, you being used by the devil and don't even know it. It's time to get out of this flesh. It's time to get out of this flesh. It's time to get out of this flesh so we can see things the way they're supposed to be. God is already, the Bible says, this is the victory that overcomes the world, even our faith. You wonder why you ain't overcoming then? Get some faith and you will overcome. Start believing in God and you will begin to overcome this little stuff. Tests and trials come to do what? Make you strong. We fighting against God because he's giving us tests. You ought to tell God, bring the test on. I'm ready to go through them because I'm trying to go somewhere in this Jesus. I'm ready to be strong. You wonder why we ain't strong. We run away from our test. We get out the fire when he put us in the fire. He put us in the fire to say, I'm going to make you pure gold. You ain't pure gold yet because you keep jumping out the fire. Stay in the fire. Stay in the fire. I know it don't feel good right now. I know it don't feel good right now. But what did he say? He said, just like a father, when he's chastising his son, he said, it don't feel good while you're going through it. We know it don't feel good right now. But faith tells us he's working on something. Yes. Faith said all things work together for the good of the elect of Lord Christ Jesus. See, we got to begin to see it in faith. We got to begin to see this fight in faith. It's in faith. Faith is what's going to cause us to overcome the world. Not staying down here in the flesh. Yes. Long as we, look, when I bump this with the pen, naturally, what you going to say? Oh, excuse me. What we do, we get up here. I just want to repent. Tell anybody I did wrong. Please forgive me. Now, I'm not saying that that's fake because it be sincere. Because when you bump into somebody by accident, you really do. You sorry. You see what I'm saying? So we got some light in us that make us want to say, I'm sorry, excuse me. You see what I'm saying? But when you go ahead and go into this life, when you see we down here in that weak element now, but when you start taking them tests for what they is, now I can see a little better up here. I can see a little over some of these situations. These situations ain't bother me like they was when I was down there face to face with them. But when I go through my next test, now I can see a little better. I can see over there, I can see behind that pew. I can see, you see, I can see down the road now. I know that when I was down there, I went through a little something, but that's what got me up here. You see what I'm saying? We got to begin to look at this thing for what it is. Who the Lord said, he brought in the garden with Adam, Eve, what I told her she was, pure evil. First natural, then spiritual, right? Now we know by understanding God that spiritual was really first. Because God is a spirit. I'm in the beginning, I'm in the end. In the beginning was the word of God, and the word was God, right? So we know spiritual was really first, right? Okay, now, when God brought Eve in there, and bone of his bone, flesh of his flesh, they represented Adam's flesh. It represented Adam's flesh. Now, I'll show you something. God told me this today. Now, because Adam, now this evil right here with him now, Satan himself, pure evil, right there, he's helped me. Now, when you in the light, guess who the devil is? He your helpmate. It ain't till you go into this natural side that he becomes your adversary. Are you hearing God? He become your adversary when you in the flesh. Because it looked like he warned against you. But if you get in the spirit, he helping you to get to where you need to go. Are you hearing God today? It's first natural, then spiritual. It's the exact opposite. Why you think Jesus said, my ways are not your ways? My thoughts are not your thoughts. You thinking this way, I'm thinking that way. Do you see what I'm saying? We've been so busy. You know, God showed me this. I had a vision. And I was running through the woods, just running. And I was so fast. And it wasn't, that flash, that cartoon flash that you want to see. You don't see nothing but shadow. I was so fast, but I could see where I was going and what I was doing. And it was a man chasing me. And I began to jump into a tree. And as I reached up for the tree, the limb would fold down and grab me up. And when I would reach for another tree, that limb, it'll fold down and grab me up. And I got to the top of the tree, and the wind was blowing, and I was one with the tree. As the wind, it was just blowing. And I looked down at the man that was chasing me, and I knew that he was my adversary. But his attempts was so futile, his efforts were so futile, that it was almost as though he wasn't even bothering me at all. I'm talking about a real rest that God got to plan for me. I'm talking about a real rest. The Bible said we'll reign with Jesus for 1,000 years and Satan will be bound. You know when you think that is? Somebody say, the last day. At the last day. You want to know when that is? It's at your last day. When you stop living. When you gonna die. Do you see what I'm saying? It's when you die. At your day. The Bible says we don't know we know not yet where we shall be. But when Christ shall appear, we shall be just like him. He already said he comes not of observation. It ain't nothing you can look up there and see. It's something that's going to appear in you. It's going to appear when you die. You see what I'm saying? It's one mind, one body. You can't live at the same time and let God live. Why you think Paul said, not I that live? I'm dead. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm dead. It's Christ that's living now. It's Jesus that's living now. And in this realm, in this life, I done walked into the holiest of holies. I don't see the weak and beggarly element no more. You want to know why you're going to be able to love your enemies? Because you ain't going to see your enemies. You ain't going to see. It's just like when I was out in the world and in the club and somebody threw a bottle and Buddy got hit in the head and he was just out. And he started looking around like, who hit me? And he ain't know, so he couldn't fight nobody. You see what I'm saying? He couldn't find nobody to go to war with because he didn't know who did. He didn't see nobody. It's just like that in the spirit. God showed it to me. I saw people. I could see you raise your hands and wave them. But to see who you was grayed out. I ain't see no faces. Therefore, if somebody come and slap you, you don't see no faces, so you couldn't tell who it was. So you still gonna love everybody the same. It ain't gonna matter. You don't know who did it, so you ain't gonna worry about it. And if somebody comes and say, oh, that was such and such, that light that you now seeing is going to expel that little darkness trying to get in your head. Do you see what I'm saying? Man, this is God has given us a real rest. He said it's a paradise.